My unpopular opinion when it comes to predicting the timing of marriage, the timing of relationships, and the timing of children, and anything along those lines. Now, before I say anything else, let me preface by saying that I'm not here to tell y'all what to do. I'm not here to tell y'all how to live y'all life. I'm not the moral police, okay? Everybody got their own soul lessons that they came here to learn. Everybody incarnated here to learn whatever lessons that they needed to learn. So with that being said, again, this is my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion only based on the charts that I've analyzed over the years. I've been analyzing charts for I don't know how long. Am I perfect? No. Most of the time when I analyze charts, I get it right. Typically I'm on it. Even if I'm a little off, even if I'm on the other side of the neighborhood, typically I usually hit it on the nail. But any which ways, this is my unpopular opinion when it comes to going to an astrologer, asking your astrologer, can you tell me when I'll get married, when love is going to come in? I don't care if it's a Vedic astrologer. I don't care if it's a traditional astrologer. I don't care if it's an old astrologer. I don't care if it's a young astrologer. I don't care if it's a modern astrologer. I don't care if you go get your astrocartography done and you say, I want to move from this country to that country because my Venus line is all the way over there on the other side of town, and I want to move on my Venus line because I want to find love. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care if it's your favorite astrologer. I don't care if it is the most popular astrologer, the most world renowned astrologer in the world. I don't care. Whenever you go to an astrologer and ask them if they can predict marriage for you, let's just say you want to go to an astrologer and they want to predict marriage for you, right? I'm going to hold your hand very, very tightly, and I'm going to pat it very, very gently and tell you, you can use whatever predictive technique. I don't care if you in your Venus progressed year. I don't care if you in your Jupiter progressed year. I don't care if you in your Saturn progressed year. If you got a jacked up seventh house, and let's just say the ruler of that seventh house is jacked up, you got a jacked up fifth house, or you got a jacked up Venus in your chart, what type of relationship do you think you're going to attract? What type of marriage you think you're going to get into? What type of partner do you think you're going to attract? If you have not mitigated, if you have not done the work that you needed to do to absolve that karma in that area of your life, what type of marriage or relationship or even children that you think you're going to have? I don't know how many times I done had people come to me, and I do a lot of women's chart. I mean, I do everybody. I do men and I do women, but I get a lot of women. A lot of women are karmically tied to me because I am called to help heal the feminine collective. So I get a lot of women that come to me that want me to analyze their charts. And over the years, you don't know how many times women have came to me, and by the time they've came to me, it's too late, and they're on their first divorce, they're on their second or even third divorce, and now they're at a crossroad because they keep repeating the same karmic lesson, and they don't understand why. And I look at their chart and I'm like, okay, boom, you got this in your chart, you got that in your chart. The ruler of your seventh house is damaged. You got Mars square Venus, for example. That's one of my classic divorce aspects. I'm not saying that everybody that has Mars square Venus will go through a divorce, but if it shows up and you come to me and say you've been through a divorce, that I'm like, okay, you got Mars square Venus, that explains it, right? Or let's just say you got Venus square Neptune. That's another problematic placement that can bring forth a lot of karmic relationships. Because so just for example, Venus square Neptune, if you have that placement in your chart, so let's just say you come to me and you want me to predict the time of the marriage for you, and I see Venus square Mars, for example, One, that tells me that you have a severe abandonment wound that you probably have never healed. Two, that tells me that you heavily project your abandonment wounds onto people. Three, all of your relationship you heavily project onto your relationships. Four, everybody that comes into your life, they fall into your blind spot. So you can easily attract a lot of low life individuals. For example, individuals that's always in and out of jail, individuals that can have mental health issues, alcoholics, addicted to drugs, a cheater, anything along those lines can fall into that square. You probably get dick whipped, pussy whipped easily with that square also. So that's just a layer of information that I look for when somebody come to me and ask me about predicting when love will come in. And I know that there are a lot of new astrologers out there. I ain't here to knock nobody's shine, but I'm not I don't like to see people being led off a cliff either. And I just don't want people to, I'm not the type of person to blow smoke up anybody's ass. I'm gonna be so honest with you, because if you come to me and I see, and thankfully a lot of the people that come to me, when I see stuff in a chart, I ask them. When I see them and I clutch my imaginary pearls and I say, do you ever want to get married? And most of them say, nope, I don't know, won't get married. Or you know what, I'm on the fence about getting married. I'm like, good, because I see this in your chart, I see that in your chart, I see what's going on with your seventh house ruler, da 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 da. And they be like, I kind of felt this. So more than likely people will know. they they intuitively, subconsciously feel when they do. So when they do come to you, it's like you're almost confirming to them what they're already feeling. But then you got some people, they just go into these astrologers, like you might go to get your astrocartography done. You might like, I want to get married, what's the best place for me to find love? And you go to that astrocartographer and they telling you, oh yeah, your Venus line is all the way over here in Europe, and you move your behind over there to Europe. But that astrologer that used astrocartography to tell you that the best place for you to find love on your Venus line is in Europe, but they don't tell you you got a nasty, nasty square to your Venus. So what you think you're going to attract when you get over there to Europe? That square is going to follow you all the way to Europe. It's not going to disappear. It's not going to go away. So I just wanted to share that. I want you guys to be careful. I want you guys to know. And there's a lot of, I'm not going to say a lot. I know an astrologer right now. This astrologer it's a very popular astrologer. I would even like to say this is a world-renowned astrologer. This individual, they don't even do marriage predictions. They used to do marriage predictions, but and when I first started learning astrology years ago, and that person said on their YouTube channel that they stopped doing marriage predictions, and I was like, why they don't do marriage predictions? After analyzing so many charts for so many years, now I understand why some astrologers steer clear of doing marriage predictions, because there are things that you can see in people's chart that can show that they are not meant to be married in this lifetime, or if they do get married in this lifetime, there is heavy karma attached to being married in this lifetime. Even with children, you can even see if a person will even have children, or if they do, there's heavy karma tied to having children. And they don't want to say that to the individual, because when you say certain things, when you predict certain things to people, when it comes to their natal chart, you tie yourself into that karma with them. So that's why a lot of astrologers don't even like to do it, because we can see that shit. So that's why I kind of have to handle situations like that with kid gloves, and I like to ask. Now, if I see some problematic stuff in your chart and you say, yeah, I still want to get married, okay, this is what you need to do. You need to do this, and this. Because if you do get married with this jacked up seventh house and this jacked up Venus or this jacked up Jupiter, this can happen. Protect yourself this way, protect yourself that way. So whatever you guys decide to do, I want you guys to know exactly what you're getting into. What else can I say about it? Yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, any comments, you're a teacher of astrology, student of astrology, or anything in between, hit me up in the comments.